Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a f***ing ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today is March 29th, 2022. We're a little late with this podcast because Molly's birthday was yesterday.
It was.
And
I said for my birthday, I don't want to do a podcast.
Yeah, that was her birthday present. No podcast. I won't do anything tonight. Yeah, turned a big 3-4.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to say that?
Yeah, you can say it.
Okay. Well,
I'm okay with it.
You know.
I'm still at that point where I'm like, yeah, it's just a number, kind of.
Time to trade you in for a younger model anyhow, so.
You say that every year.
Every year. Every year since 30. I think 29 is when it started.
No, I'm pretty sure like 25.
Old man cackle. All right, we got a good show for you. Lots happened in the past week. A lot of trades, a lot of moving around, a bunch of good stuff going on. So let's get right into it. Molly, you want to start off with anything?
I have like chronological order. Here's what's happened. So I guess the oldest thing, the Falcons re-signed Cordero Patterson. So he was off the market. That happened before we signed Leonard Fournette.
You think that had anything to do with us signing Leonard Fournette?
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't have been mad if we would have got Patterson.
I know, me neither. And then it was like, yeah, our options kind of were more limited. So we signed Leonard Fournette. It was a 3-year deal worth $21 million up to $24 million in incentives. I was surprised at the size of that contract.
Yes, me too. That's what, $7 million a year?
8? Yeah, 7. Up to 8. Yeah.
Yeah, that's top 10 running back money, which is, he wanted top 5 supposedly. He could have gotten it somewhere, but I guess nobody came calling. He went to the Patriots, visited with them, and then immediately came back and signed with us. He's probably like, yeah, they're too strict up there. I like this drinking coach we got.
I think maybe he realized his prospects were limited.
But I am surprised that we paid that much money. Normally, we do not pay that much money to running backs.
And the 3-year deal. It's very curious. We keep getting 3-year deals for everybody.
Yeah, got quite a few.
Jensen got 3 years.
Yeah, not as many 1-year deals as we've been seeing, which is what Fournette was on previously, right? Didn't he have 2 1-year deals back to back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we kept doing that. And so it's just interesting that they're coming back for multiple years this year.
Brady's staying until he's 50. That's what I'm hearing.
No, it's the question. What does that mean? We've kind of all assumed that Tom Brady's taken a pretty big role this offseason in recruiting people. And if the people he's recruiting, like Jensen, like Fournette, are coming back for multiple years, what does that say about how long Tom Brady's planning on being here?
Yeah.
I don't know that he knows, but it's just an interesting nugget.
Yes, I agree with you. Hopefully he'll be here for a while. Hopefully this ain't his last year, but I'm going to act like it is his last year.
Yeah, I know.
He's going to burn this candle at both ends, man.
Yeah. I agree. Well, I think he wants to go out on top, like Peyton with the Super Bowl, and then just be done. Yeah. That's what I would do. I would not want to go out on a playoff loss like we did.
Matt Ryan has been traded to the Colts.
Holy crap.
That was a shocker. We've talked about this for years that, his contract is just totally unsustainable over there at Atlanta. Yeah. I think he was at 40-some million this year. It might have even been 50 million. It was
over 40. I want to say 41, 42, 45 maybe.
That's a lot of money unless you're Deshaun Watson. And So anyhow, he goes to the Colts, and it's just so weird that the NFC South now has no long-term quarterbacks, for so long. I mean, he's been in the league since 2008.
Yes.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what's that? 14 years we've been playing him when he was the young gun.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan. And we've had to put up with those guys for 15 years, some even longer. Now, it's all new Bucs. They got rid of Matt Ryan, and they ended up immediately signing Marcus Mariota.
Which he had
like
connections.
within an hour.
Yeah, he had connections to Arthur Smith because they were at
Tennessee
together.
offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah, which that's just, I'm like, and then the New Orleans Saints have re-signed Jameis Winston. I'm like, what is this? Just a gift to the NFC South?
I know. And Tom Brady, to your point, is the longest tenured quarterback
in the
NFC South. Like, how
That's
ridiculous is that?
That is funny. So we don't know who the Carolina's quarterback is yet.
No. They still got Sam Darnold.
Yeah, they ain't going to start him, I don't think. But I don't care if they do or not. I don't care who they get. Ain't nobody out there. But yeah, Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. How crazy is that? The number 1 and number 2 pick.
Well, and they'll forever be tied together.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the whole offseason that year, that's all we heard. Who was getting drafted first.
And then the very first game was us against Tennessee, remember?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they came out and whooped us.
Not surprised.
That was like Marcus Mariota's best game ever.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Jameis,
had a weird...
Jameis threw a pick 6 first play.
Uh-huh. Sounds about right. Marcus has had a really weird career. Like, of the two, Jameis has been more consistent.
Stable.
Yeah, stable. Which is odd. Oh, but, I mean, appears the Bucs made the right choice there between the two. Jameis got... It's a 2-year deal. It's a base value of $28 million, and $21 million is guaranteed.
Yeah, it was a pretty big contract considering, he only started a few games for him last year.
And coming off injury.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a huge contract, but for what he's done for him, that's a pretty big contract. So looks to me like they plan on having him as a starter. I don't know what they're thinking over there, but I'm not mad about it.
I want to see what he's like after the injury. Like, is he going to stay in the pocket more? I don't think so at all.
I don't think he can.
I don't think
it's
so.
just ingrained in him.
No, yeah. He trains that way. I mean, he is creating
trainer.
that. Yes, he is creating that muscle memory. That's how he trains.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll get a full season of him with his corrected vision. Remember, we didn't get that all year last year.
You are correct. Interesting. Oh, so crazy. And the Saints also lost their tackle. Taron Armstead went to the Dolphins. So he was like one of the big free agents out there as far as the offensive lineman goes. So they lost him. He probably was like, yeah, I don't want that running quarterback. It'll make me look bad.
I know,
so
right?
what happened to Donovan? It's like, no thanks.
Yeah, both those offensive lines are going to look like crap this year.
I know. Well, Atlanta's has for years.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that place. They cannot build an offensive line.
They spend all their money on receivers and quarterback.
But even drafting?
Yeah.
Like, we've had a lot of luck drafting.
Is it really luck, though?
I mean, you're right. It's true. Speaking of, you want to go over our offensive line moves?
Yeah.
A good segue there.
Yeah.
We didn't even plan this, guys. It just happens organically.
We're just that good.
We're just that good. So we got some information on Aaron Stinney's deal. He is on a league minimum $1.035 million base. And then he gets a week 1 like roster bonus. And so he has a total of $1.4 million cap hit.
Is that a new deal?
Yeah, Stinny. Remember, we signed him on a 1-year deal. This is his deal.
Okay.
His contract. So if he ends up starting for us and we're paying $1.4 million for a starting guard.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad.
I don't see why he wouldn't start.
I don't either. I mean, to me, you earned it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when he filled in for Alex Kappa, he did as good, if not better.
I'm not opposed to him competing for the job, but I think the bias should be in his favor.
Yeah.
I think he should get some like bonus points there.
We got Fred Johnson, the tackle from the Bengals, not to be confused with Fred Johnson from The Expanse.
Oh my gosh. That was the best comment we got on your video. Kudos to whoever did that. I forget who it was. It took me like 2 readings and I was like, oh, I get that reference.
Yeah. And I want to ask this. We just recently finished watching the season finale of that, or the show finale. And what in the world happened? You know, one, what happened? This is not Bucs related, but what happened to the proto-molecule? I mean, that just like, that whole storyline just disappeared.
Oh my gosh.
And 2, what happened on that planet with the little dog things that brought that boy back to life? That whole storyline just disappeared. It had no bearing whatsoever on anything.
And he was creepy. He reminded me of like the Grudge and
you expected to see
crawl out of the TV. Eyes. Yeah. It was crazy looking. He freaked me out. Yeah, that show never. I had the hardest time following that show. It did
jump around a lot, and it seemed like the last episode they just wrapped it up real quick, and it didn't seem like they had planned that. You know, it's kind of like they went, oh, well, you know, we're canceling the show, so just go ahead and wrap it up. And they were like, okay.
I think for sure canceling it. Like, it's done forever. Please, God, but so. Like...
That was a good show to start off with, and then, like most shows.
Season, and then the rest of it, they just...
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know. I had a hard time with it sometimes. Like, who is this person? Why are they mad at each other again?
So much drama.
So much
drama.
But I heard the books are worse, which is unusual.
Oh, these are based off a book?
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't know that.
So
yeah,
last thing I'll say, aesthetically, it looked very good. It was good for a space show.
Yeah, very good for a space show.
Great effects. The ships were cool. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, so we got Fred Johnson as a backup tackle. We need that. We did re-sign Josh Wells. He ended up getting a 1-year, like $1 million deal, something around there. And so they're going to compete for the backup job. We probably keep both of them. I ain't gonna lie.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, we normally keep 9 offensive linemen.
Yeah, and then we've also got Hainsey and Mulchin, who they were both draft picks in the last few years, or undrafted free agents that we picked up. So, I love it. It's one of those, if you don't pay attention to it because you have a great starting offensive line and then one of your dudes gets hurt or 2 of your dudes get hurt, like, you are hosed if you have not been shoring up the line. And so I just love that they're focusing on the offensive line and the depth there.
Yeah, with us getting Shaq Mason, and I think Stinny will do a good job.
Him too. I love all this.
Yeah, I mean Shaq Mason, the film I've watched, man, he's gonna be great. Yes. Alex Kappa was good, definitely a tougher guy, but he was the weakest link in that chain, and he screwed up quite a bit. But that Shaq Mason, he looks like he's gonna put some whoopings on people. I like that. I'm excited to see him play.
Yes, him right beside Jensen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And, it's good that they went out and did that. So now we don't have to worry about it in the draft. And again, we in the draft, it looks like we're going to be able to do, pick the best person available. We're not targeting any spots in particular. Then again, our defensive line, we might be a little thin there if we don't get Sue back. We'll see what happens. I think we're going to get him back. He's been out on the free market. It hasn't got any bites that I'm aware of.
I think he's living his best life. I don't think he's in a rush. Apparently, the Bucs are talking to his people. It's in the works.
Yeah, he always signs late with us anyhow.
Yeah.
So we'll get him back on a 1-year deal probably. If we get him back on like a 2 or 3 year deal, then Tom Brady's staying.
I think so too. Yeah. Yeah. We did bring back Gholston, which that was one. But we only gave him a 1-year deal. That was.
Yeah.
I didn't love that, but.
$4.5 million, right?
Oh, is that what it was?
I think it was. It's about what he's been making.
Yeah. And it's his 10th season, so maybe that was it. But to me, I still see him as a young buck because I remember when he got drafted.
When he came in, yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm like, you take it for granted. And plus, he never went further than like a rotational guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I kind of see him, I guess, as far as like pecking order, he's kind of not at the bottom, but below the top guys.
Yeah, I was really surprised somebody didn't grab him because I definitely think he could be a starter, no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. Like that, I've said that about most of our backups. Most of our backups could be starters on other teams, but I don't know, for some reason he just doesn't get the love he deserves.
Well, when you got so many big names on our defensive line, like he's going to get buried.
Yeah.
I mean, again, in the pecking order, like he's way down there compared to all the stars we got.
We got Ronald Jones, our running back, second round, 38th overall pick in the 2018 draft. He's gone to Kansas City.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I was not surprised that we did not bring him back.
Me neither.
To me, he never lived up to the coaching staff's expectations, and I think that they gave him ample opportunity to do so. I just don't think he's their type of player.
No.
I think he's a little too... I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but I think he's too soft for them.
Okay.
I just, Todd McNair had talked about how Rojo was a little more like sensitive.
Yeah.
And so I read up after he said that, I read up on it, and they talked about, there was a piece from when Rojo was in college, and they talked about how his dad, like he didn't have a strong father figure. His dad, his parents had divorced, and so he didn't see his dad a lot, but he was always very bashful as a kid and would hang out like behind people. His dad would take him to football games and stuff and have him meet players, and he would just hide behind his dad, and he was always very unsure of himself. And it seemed like a lot of that was still there when he got to the professional level. And just to me, he never really shook it. He never got that confidence. And to me, BA is only going to hold your hand so long.
Yes. And, he did have the Buccaneers' longest run in franchise history. It was at 96 yards against Carolina Panthers. Great run, and he could pop off some stuff. But he was a runner. He wasn't a pass catcher and he wasn't a blocker. And those two things are vital in this offense. I mean, if you were to ask Bruce Arians in order, what do you want your running backs to do of those three things, he would say pass protection, catch the ball, and run the ball in those three ways. And Ronald Jones was not good at pass protection at all. And, his receiving wasn't the greatest in the world. I mean, you got Leonard Fournette out there now catching one-handed passes. And Leonard Fournette has really, really upped his game in pass protection. And Fournette's a great runner. So Rojo was just couldn't get past that Fournette was just beating him out in all three of those things. So we'll see how he does in Kansas City. I'm wishing the best over there. He's in the AFC. We do play Kansas City this year, so I hope he does not do well in that game. But as long as he's in the AFC, I ain't got no beef against him, no strife. Do people still say beef?
I don't know.
Beef.
I'm the wrong person to ask about what the kids are saying.
But you're hip and cool, man. Go, Daddy. You're not a square. Yeah, the Fournette deal, I was very happy about that. Very happy about that because, it's a little bit more money. I was thinking $5 million and $7 million. I'm like, okay, it's not my money. I don't give a crap. But, he has just gotten so good at those three levels of the guy. Now, he was always a great runner. The guy is elite level when it comes to following his blockers and running where he's supposed to run. I mean, elite. And he taught Rojo a lot with that because Rojo, when he first came in, he was grabbing the ball and then just shooting, going wherever he wanted to damn well please. We actually had an issue with that with all of our running backs there for a while. And Fournette come in, and it seemed like shortly thereafter you started seeing Rojo reading his keys, following his blockers, and all that good stuff. And I was like, "Ooh, he's getting that from Leonard Fournette," because Leonard Fournette is great at that. I mean, just fantastic. I know I've said this but it's just fun to watch on the all-22. When he gets the handoff, I'll stop it and I'll look at the line and how they're blocking and everything. And I'll go like, all right, here's where he's supposed to go. And then I'll be like, okay, and here's where he should go based on his keys. And then I'll unpause it. And sure enough, every single time he goes to the right spot. It's incredible. It really is. So I was very happy to have him back, and his pass protection has gotten really, really good. And like I said, his receiving. I mean, he was making one-handed catches last year. Mm-hmm. That one for a touchdown was beautiful. Just boop, one-hander.
He definitely earned that spot.
Yes. Yeah.
And I like that the coaching staff recognized that and paid him.
And I think Brady really likes him too.
Yeah.
So.
Whatever Brady wants.
Yeah, he had the most catches in the NFC.
Really?
Ronald Jones did for running back. I mean, not Ronald Jones, Fournette. Yeah, I think it was 69 or 80.
Huh.
Can't remember.
Yeah, and he's such a momentum builder. Like, he can pop off some runs to the point where it really energizes the offense.
Yeah, I would like to see us do more running this year. It was something so aggravating. Like again in the Rams game, the divisional playoffs game, Fournette comes out. We handed it to him 3 times, and he got like 20-some yards. And then the rest of the game, he was just, and we did that so much last year. But we don't know how much of that is Tom Brady and how much of that is Byron Leftwich, because from what we've been hearing, Tom Brady decides, he gets 2 plays called in and he decides if it's going to be a run or pass. And it's Tom Brady. So it's almost always going to be a pass. I mean, he'll pass it to the runner, but he's just not, Tom Brady wants the ball. So I think that's one of the reasons why we don't see a big emphasis on our run game. Although, Bruce Arians' offense is not built around the run at all. His runners are mainly pass catchers and protectors. So,
are we at the point in our offense where we kind of need to shake it up this year? I mean, they have 2 years of film on us already.
Yeah, no, they have all the film in the world. They can't stop us. Now we got Russell Gage too. Godwin's back, hopefully from his injury. He'll be back at the start of the season, right? Or at least around October. Yeah. And we got Russell Gage. We'll probably draft a wide receiver. Scotty Miller, hopefully we'll keep him. Got Perriman back.
I know that receiver room, I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah. I don't even, to me, I don't feel like we need to draft anybody, but whatever. Like, draft a running back.
It is amazing at how it went from such a depressing time to we're just excited. 1 minute Tom Brady's retired, Ali Marpet retires.
We all want to die.
We've got all these free agents that we just know.
I was about to retire.
Yeah. And then next thing we know, boom, boom, boom. And now our team's looking better than it was last year. It's like, what?
I know.
Draft's going to be exciting. See who we
get. I'm excited about the draft. This is like the first draft I've ever. Like, let's do it. Because we have so few. Well, I don't feel like we have any holes. I feel like, again, it's another draft where it's like, oh, we just got to best available. You know, we can make some upgrades, but we don't really need anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I don't know anything about the draft. I don't know who's good or what type of draft it is this year. I heard it's not a quarterback draft.
These are all the COVID players. These are all the players who have spent the last 2 years in college going through COVID.
Not touching each other.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, let's see how this goes. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it's a very weak draft class all around.
Yeah. Huh.
But I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, with all the rule changes in football, it's going to be flag football anyhow. Eventually, it's coming. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of flag football, there's a warrant out for the arrest of former Bucs receiver Mike Williams. You remember him?
I do.
Back in back in the younger days. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was
still younger.
You know, God, that team. What happened? What happened? If you were to say to somebody, if you were to come up to somebody and say, okay, here's a team. I'm going to name off these players, and you tell me if this team is any good or not. Okay. LeGarrette Blount, Aqib Talib, Mike Williams, Kevin Winslow Jr., Gerald McCoy, Michael, what was his name? The defensive end. Michael Bennett.
Adrian Claiborne.
You know, if you start, and then you name the whole offensive line with Donald Penn and Larson and all those guys. And then you were like, oh, yeah, and they had a quarterback in Josh Freeman. Aren't too many people on the planet would go, well, that's going to be a winning team at least. I mean, we had a monster team. Those were some monster players. And man, that team just blew up in 2011. Never seen anything like it. And I want to know what happened. But anyhow, Mike Williams was part of that. And he had some off-the-field issues. I don't remember exactly where they were, but I remember everybody had off-the-field issues. That was why we brought Greg Schiano in to clean up the locker room, because they were all doing drugs and going to the strip clubs with
Ralph was mad. He was not invited.
That's kind of reporting I want to do right there. Up close and personal. So, you know, and then we had the coach was going with them. You know, it was a little too much of a player's coach, I guess. And so we had to bring Greg Schiano in, and he cleaned the house. And man, that hurt. It hurt. You know, when he got rid of Michael Bennett, I was like, what? And then the one that really was a knife to the heart was LeGarrette Blount. Oh, man, that hurt me so bad. I loved LeGarrette Blount. Loved him. But it is what it is. Anyhow, Mike Williams, we traded him to the Jets, I think it was, right?
We did? I don't remember. I have PTSD from that whole.
Yeah.
Blacked it out.
No, it was the Bills. That's right. This was in 2014. Mm-hmm. And he ended up playing for the Bills, only recorded 8 catches with them. And then that was the end of his career. So anyhow, there's a warrant out for his arrest right now for failing to appear on a misdemeanor battery charge in October last year. No, October 2020. So that was 2 years ago. Apparently, he was accused of hitting his girlfriend in the face and chest multiple times with a closed-handed fist. Not like that sissy Will Smith stuff. He balled it up. And she ended up getting some contusions, some small cuts over her eyes, according to the police report. And then he missed the court date in January, so they were arrested. I'm not sure if he's been arrested yet or not. Now, he's still got a house in Tampa, so that's where the arrest warrant was from. So that's fun news. All right.
Wow.
Just weird. Didn't he want to be a DJ or a music rapper?
Yeah, he was a rapper.
He wanted to be a rapper. Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to start a music career.
Him and Antonio Brown should get together. Did you see Antonio Brown with that fight on Instagram or whatever with that girl? It was.
Yeah, he's accusing someone of not paying him, which is just. Have you ever seen anyone with less self-awareness?
What is up with him, man? There's some serious issues there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
I don't know.
And, he's texting this girl. And he's like, give me my money. And she's like, okay, what's your PayPal address? And he was like, just give me my money. And she's like, I'm trying to give it to you. Where do you want me to send it? And he was like, I'm going to get you back for this. And she's like, please don't do this. I'm going to give you your money. And then he did it anyhow and sent it out to the whole world.
So did he, okay, wait a minute. Stop right there. Did he screenshot those text messages and post them?
Yes.
Like where she's like, send me your PayPal.
Yeah.
And okay.
He doesn't know. I mean, remember when he did this with Juju?
Yeah.
He texts the stuff out and it makes him look like an idiot
Well,
every
he
time.
did the same thing to BA. Like this dude. Does he have reading comprehension issues?
Well, I know he's got writing comprehension
I don't,
issues.
yeah. Wow. Oh, so he confirmed for me again. He screenshotted text messages where he's like, bitch, pay me. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
And so he posted that
Yes.
to make her look bad.
Right. From what I was reading, she was just trying to, hey, just tell me where to send you the money and I'll send you the money, and he just kept on with it and just put it out there to the world. Now, this is somebody's ex-girlfriend. Who is it? Can't remember. Somebody famous.
He,
He's just a mess, man.
Oh my God.
How he stayed as clean as he did, as long as he did here, I don't know.
And he needs to stay off of Instagram. Like those thoughts are just, he can't resist a thirst trap.
Yeah, these guys sometimes you just, oh man.
Wow. Well, to me, it just goes to show how easy life is. Because look at that moron.
Yeah.
Look how well he's doing.
Yeah, true enough. We do not know how good we got it.
I know. Oh, hey, we got details on Logan Ryan's salary. So his base salary is the league minimum, $1.12 million.
Really?
It is. So
Huh.
great deal for us.
Yeah, and apparently the New York Giants fans are pretty pissed off about that, them letting him go. They just cut him. And the general manager and the coach were just like, well, we're just going in a different direction. And the owner was asked about it, and he was like, I have no idea why they did it. He was kind of shocked. He was like, well, they're the coach and general manager. They want to do something different. So watching his game film, the only film I've watched on him has been with the Giants, and man, he is all over the place. He's that money backer.
Yeah.
Safety. And that's exactly what we do. We've got, like we do with Whitehead, and we do it with Edwards and all these guys. We have them playing, they'll play slot cornerback. They'll play in the linebacker position. They'll blitz. They're all over. And that's how he was, just all over the place. So apparently the Giants are changing up their defense to be more conservative, I guess.
They're not trying to stop passes or anything this year. We don't need to do that. Oh, I have some news. Cam Brate got married this offseason. A lot of players getting married this offseason. Dummies.
What's wrong with them?
Idiots. So, there we go. Okay, that's the last bit of news that I have. You got anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going back to Logan Ryan, he had a press conference. Him and Shaq Mason, right? It was Shaq Mason, did a dual press conference after they signed the contract. I think it was the Wednesday last week, might have been Tuesday, and it was really interesting because Logan Ryan is a great public speaker. I mean, he was just, had no issues whatsoever being in front of a camera. And he was talking so much, he eventually had to go, by the way, there's Shaq Mason sitting over here too. And then they go to Shaq Mason, and he's more of the silent type, just kind of did football speak, and then went back to Logan Ryan. But it was pretty neat. They asked, Logan Ryan used to play with the Patriots, and he was there with Tom Brady. And of course, everybody that gets in front of a microphone on the Buccaneers gets asked about Tom Brady. It's really quite annoying if you ask me. I mean, it's and I know these guys get annoyed with it. It's like, hey, I just signed a new contract. The reporter's like, oh, well, so what are your thoughts on Tom Brady? Yeah.
Did Tom Brady write your contract?
Was Tom Brady there? Could you tell him I said hi? And they asked him about Tom Brady, and Logan Ryan had a great story. He was talking about Tom Brady's competitiveness. He said when Logan Ryan came in, Tom Brady was already about a 10-year vet at that point. And this was OTAs in April. And he said he picked Tom Brady off and got a pick six. And he said Tom Brady got so frustrated, he took his helmet off and smashed it on the ground. He said pieces of helmet flying everywhere. And he said, y'all have seen it before. And
it looked like that tablet last season.
Yeah, right. And he was like, I was so amazed at the guys, what he called ultra competitiveness. Is that what he said? No, crazy competitiveness. He said this was in OTAs in April. And he's out there acting like it's a game or, like they're in the Super Bowl. So that was very interesting to get a little bit of mindset of Tom Brady. But yeah, Logan Ryan seems to be very, very mature, very great in front of the camera. I think he's going to bring a lot to the team. And, we've said that for over the past couple of years. And we need one thing we were excited when Richard Sherman was brought in after all the injuries, because we need some veterans back there. These guys are young, and it'd be nice. And it's going to be nice to have Logan back there.
Well, okay, let's think about this for a second. So we have Carlton Davis, Mike Edwards, SMB, and who am I missing? Winfield. Okay.
And Jamel Dean.
Thank you. Okay, so these guys all drafted within the last 4 or 5 years. Like I think Carlton Davis is the most senior. Yeah. And that was, is he on his 5th year?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Did he not have an option the 5th year? Like, don't they normally have a 4-year contract, but you can pick up a 5th-year option?
Don't know. That's usually when they draft. I think he was undrafted. I'm not sure.
Okay. Anyway, at this point, to me, like, we really needed a veteran back there like 2 years ago and never really found the right fit. But don't you think it kind of shakes up the dynamic there a little bit? Because Carlton Davis has always been the most senior guy back there.
Right.
And now, he's gotten his contract, and then he's going to get, as far as seniority goes, kind of unseated by this veteran. It's just a little, like, I don't think anything Carlton Davis is going to take it the wrong way or anything like that, but whenever you shake up the dynamic, it's just, you never know what's going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond, how mature Carlton Davis is, where Logan Ryan fits in. Yes. Maybe it'll kind of be a tandem, like Levante and Devin White. Like they're kind of a tandem, go together, So maybe it'll shake out back there like that. I don't know. Like the defensive backs, they're the Gravediggers, like all together. They have a name. Are they going to let Logan in their gang?
Carlton Davis was drafted by the Buccaneers in 2018, second round, 63rd overall. Okay. Don't know where I got undrafted from. I was looking at a list. We actually got quite a few undrafted players on our team. Surprised at how many of them were starting. So, yeah, this will be his 5th year coming up.
Okay.
And I guess he did not have a 5th-year option. So we just re-signed Carlton Davis. So.
Yeah.
3 years, $44.5 million.
Yeah. So he kind of got a big fat contract there. So Logan Ryan, he's designated as a safety at this point, but he can play both.
Yes. Right. Yeah, and he said that too. He's very versatile. I could play slot. I could play whatever. So I'm excited to have him. Mm-hmm. It kind of sucks to lose Whitehead, but I think Logan Ryan will do all right.
Yeah, I agree. Whitehead was always fun. He was just a missile, and he just hit so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, remember that video? It was mic'd up, and that offensive lineman, can't remember who it was, but came up to him and said, man, that's the hardest hit I've ever had. Whitehead come again, and the guy had to block him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Logan Ryan, he's a big fan of Rondé Barber. He talked quite a bit about Rondé Barber at the
Because he's from the
press
area.
conference. Yes, Logan Ryan. Yeah, he's got a house there, and he sees Rondé Barber as a mentor, and he wants to be friends with Rondé Barber now that he's a Buccaneer. He's like, maybe we'll be friends.
That's so cool. Well, doesn't Rondé have an office in the building?
Oh, yeah.
He can just pop by Rondé's office, go get a lunch date, meeting, whatever.
Yeah, and he talked about, and Will Gholston talked about this too, and I've noticed a lot of guys on our team talk about this ever since Tom Brady's gotten here, but pliability and keeping your health up. Logan Ryan says he runs marathons now because he wants to be able to not get tired on the field.
Life. Wants to die.
Because he's a sadist. But he said that was one of the things with Rondé Barber is he wanted to know how in the world did that guy play for 16 years without missing a game? You know, he was like, that's just amazing. And of course, he also said Rondé Barber deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. So you got to love him for that.
I know. He was trying to ingratiate himself with all the Buccaneers fans.
Yes. But Will Gholston said the same thing too. You know, they all seem to be really focusing on their health, you know, keeping themselves, their cardio up, their pliability and all that good stuff. In Will Gholston, in his press conference, he says he feels better today after playing for 10 years, this will be his 10th year after playing for 9 years, than when he came in the league.
And even BA is saying, you know, he's lost weight. He's been dealing with that injury, but he lost a good number of pounds.
Tom Brady getting everybody on the TB12 over there.
Yeah, I wonder if is it Tom Brady or is it the strength and conditioning?
I think it's Tom Brady.
The trainers, probably.
Yeah, they've done all kinds of studies on this, but the best way to lose weight is hang out with people that are skinny. The best way to get rich is hang out with people that have money. You know, everything's infectious. Well, humans are imitators, and you know they say that you are a combination of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So anything you want to do, the best thing to do is to hang out with people that are doing what you want to do. And so, you know, Tom Brady comes in, he brings Guerrero in, all that. They're all focused extremely on, you know, health and pliability and longevity and cardio and all that good stuff, diet. And next thing you know, everybody's doing it. You know, was it Donovan Smith? He jumped on the vegan bandwagon for a while?
That was Gerald McCoy.
Oh, yeah. Gerald McCoy did it. And then Donovan got on it for a week.
Yeah. He didn't last long.
Yeah. You didn't hear anything else out of it.
No.
After about a week.
Sue is big on his diet nutrition too.
Well, they need to pay attention to whatever he's doing. Yeah. That guy hasn't missed a game in his whole career due to injury.
He's like a big foodie, Sue.
Is he?
Yeah. Huh. And wine. They love wine.
He's so uppity.
He is a lot.
You would think I mean, he's big into business. You know, he's got all of his businesses and finance and the housing market, and you know, he's got he's got a degree in architecture, right, or engineering. What is it? Can't remember.
Construction
management, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got a business. He's got like 10 businesses, and you know. But I mean, just the fact that he can stay as healthy, you know, never miss a game. He never comes out of a game.
I know.
You know,
he never looks tired.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and he's out there. He plays hard.
Yeah.
I don't see him taking plays off out there. So, yeah, that is amazing. I like to see it though. We could use it. You know, all the injuries we had last year. Man, that was tough. That was tough. I can't see that happening again this year. Now, the biggest injuries to our team was Shaq Barrett and JPP.
Yeah.
You know, that hurt us more than anything. And when Shaq Barrett did come back, he was not the old Shaq Barrett. You know, during the Rams divisional playoff game, him and JPP were completely non-factors in that. I mean, JPP was trying, you know, and he was getting his arm in there every now and then and, you know, trying to knock balls out and everything. I think he did bat a ball down once. But Barrett was just manhandled by that right tackle. He got by him once, maybe twice. But Barrett, he was wearing that brace. Mm-hmm. And you could just tell he just was not. And JPP, all year long, could barely move his arm. His left arm, right? So, but he was out there struggling. I hope we bring him back. I really do.
I do too. I wonder if they're just waiting to see how his rehab goes after his surgery.
There was rumors that Dallas was looking at him, but nothing's coming out with that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that'd be upsetting.
Yeah.
We'll see. I hope we bring him back. I agree with you.
Yeah.
We just need that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that might have been a lot of last year was him being hurt and not having the same energy that he had.
Yeah. 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 And I mean, he was totally ineffective. He was just a body out there, basically. Mm-hmm. And, but I did like during the Rams game when they were getting ready to spike the ball, that last play right before the field goal, JPP was not letting up, man. I mean, he got down there and got down in position and tried to knock that ball away before it was spiked. I love that. Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, that's like, yeah, that's what you got to do, man. You got to give it your all the time. And so, I'd like to see him come back, man.
Just give him a shot at redemption. Like, again, you don't want to see that as his last season with the Bucs.
Yeah.
Or, ever in the NFL.
Yeah.
So.
Fade out.
Exactly. On April 4th, which is next Monday, clubs with new head coaches can start their off-season workouts. So we are already starting on off-season workouts, which is just
crazy, insane
to me. The league meeting is going on now. BA apparently was supposed to have a press conference today with the media and didn't for personal reasons.
You know why? He got a little tipsy. He knows better to get in front of the camera when he's tipsy.
They were saying Matt Rule was like crushing it on the dance floor. And I'm like, yo, get some video of his drunk ass on the dance floor. We gotta see this.
I know they came out, they said that they're changing the overtime rules in the postseason only, so that both teams get a possession. Why would they do it in the postseason only, not the regular season? I don't like that.
I hate how they're always experimenting with rules. Like the pass interference review.
Right.
Like, that was 1 year. Yeah. Totally changed that year.
Yeah.
And then they just got rid of it.
Yep. And the refs were all pissy about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they changed the Rooney Rule to now it's mandatory that you have to have a minority, which includes women. How that happens, I don't know. How in the world are women considered minorities? You have to have a minority or a woman on your assistant coaching staff at bare minimum. That's a rule now. So
didn't they
starting this year,
lower the bar? I mean, how many coaching staffs don't have a minority assistant?
Right. I don't know.
So does that just? I mean, to me, I'm just thinking about all. I mean, how far? What counts? What doesn't count? Like, where's the line?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I just trying to make people feel better.
And they are still going to focus extremely hard on unsportsmanship penalties like taunting. Now,
read the room, morons. Like,
nobody likes that. Well, apparently the NCAA is pushing them to do this. I don't know what's up with that.
It's because the players they're pushing out of college are soft.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't hurt their feelings. Next, we're going to get safe spaces on the sidelines.
Cookies and ice cream.
I know. They'll be just full of puppies. Full of puppies.
Yeah.
And then a separate room for people who are triggered by puppies. It'll just be never ending.
Triggered by puppies.
There are some weirdos out there.
Oh, yeah. There's quite a few of them. Mm-hmm. There's got to be people that are triggered by puppies, I'm sure. Oh, yeah. I put out a video, and this was, just one of those things that I stumbled upon in my digging through stats and stuff. And I've seen it's been picked up. I actually saw a national article on this. So, but of course they didn't give me credit for it. Why would they? But Brady, when he walks out on the field at the start of the season, will break the record as the oldest quarterback to start an NFL game. It was previously held by Steve DeBerg when he played for the Atlanta Falcons in 1998 at the age of 44 years and 275 days old. Brady's going to turn 45 on August 3rd. That's a month before the start of the season. So he's going to blow that record away. So by the end, when we win the Super Bowl in February, he's going to be 45 and a half. And if he continues playing, he's just going to, who's ever going to beat that record,
You can't. I know. Who do we have? Okay, Matt Ryan.
Yeah, who's even
38.
close? Yeah. It would be what? 10 years before.
I know. Can you see Matt Ryan playing for another 7 years? No. Aaron Rodgers.
He could behind that Colts offensive line. He ain't going to get beat up like he did at Atlanta.
Maybe, but does he have, I don't know. We don't even know what his skill is like at this point because he's just been
past couple of years.
Pummeled. The past couple of years. Aaron Rodgers, I can't remember how old he is, maybe 37. Do we see him playing another 7 years? He's already talking about retiring.
Mm-hmm.
We've been asking that question for 2 years. Is he going to retire? Russell Wilson. Do we see him playing till 45? I do not.
No.
Mm-mm.
You never know, but in any case, it's going to be a long time before there's even a shot for it to be broken. I think Matt Ryan's the closest, like you said. I don't know. There might be a backup that's...
Is Josh McCown still in? Josh Johnson.
Josh Johnson,
yeah.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. How old is he?
I mean...
See, he came in the league in 2009 or something.
Okay. So that's only
2009.
13 years. Okay, so he's early 30s or late 30s?
35.
35, okay. Young buck, he.
Yeah, he could stay back there.
Another 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So that's interesting that, the day one, without even throwing a pass, as soon as he steps on the field, boom, record broken.
He's got to make it to that day.
Hey.
You can do it, Brady.
Yeah. So here are all the guys that we've lost in free agency. Jordan Whitehead, he's gone to the Jets. Ali Marpet, he retired. Alex Kappa went to the Bengals. O.J. Howard gone to the Bills. And Ronald Jones went to the Chiefs. Some pretty big guys there. Jordan Whitehead, Ali Marpet, Alex Kappa. Those are all starters. Ronald Jones, O.J. Howard, they weaved in and out starting position every now and then. We signed in free agency. We've signed Logan Ryan from the Giants, Shaq Mason from the Patriots, Russell Gage from the Falcons, and Fred Johnson from the Bengals. We have re-signed Will Gholston, Chris Godwin, Carlton Davis, Ryan Jensen, Leonard Fournette, and Josh Wells. So that leaves us unsigned free agents on the team. Remaining is JPP, Ndamukong Suh, Gronkowski, Gabbert, Richard Sherman, Gio Bernard, Kevin Minter, Steve McClendon, Andrew Adams, Curtis Riley, Pat O'Connor. Oh, Zach Triner, I'm sorry. He has been re-signed, our long snapper. Mm-hmm. Yes, we just re-signed him yesterday. Donald Stanley and Le'Veon Bell. Now, most of those we don't know, no big deal. But JPP, Sue, Gronkowski, and that's about it. Those are the three big ones we're worried about.
So I'm kind of curious about Giovanni Bernard because, we brought back Leonard Fournette. Now we have 3 running backs under contract. Do we draft? Yeah. Well, we just, that's what we got out of Keyshawn Vaughn. He hasn't really done a whole lot.
I think I can't catch for nothing.
Yeah.
He's got the worst completion ratio in the league, I think.
Every time he drops one, it's like he gets worse the next time. Like it's just
you can tell it really affects him.
snowballed. Yeah. So
I don't know. What do we do? Do we look for free agency? I think BA would probably prefer that. Bring Le'Veon Bell back or Bernard or whatever. It'd be nice to have, those stable guys back there that can pretty much do it all.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell, man. It's amazing how far he fell.
I know.
That's what happens when you're running back trying to hold out.
I know. Yeah, you can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Goodness.
Well, I think Antonio Brown, was a bad influence. That's my theory.
Good theory.
So, we'll see with the running back room. That'll be interesting to watch. The defensive line, we had some defensive guys in there from the line, McClendon and Pat O'Connor. Pat is coming off of an MCL injury. So, I don't know what they're going to do there. McClendon, to me, are they going to look more towards the draft? Because that's what we've heard, that it's pretty flush with defensive linemen. So you replace those guys? Or do you bring back the guys that you know?
Right. McClendon, he's just a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad, not good, but, he's a body. We got Taco. We got Gholston.
Nacho.
That's Taco. We got Burrito.
We got Chalupa.
Taco. So, we're not doing too bad there. It'd be nice to... How many defensive linemen do we normally keep? 6. So we've got Vita, Gholston, Nacho. Ugh.
Yeah. That's our...
Dang.
Yeah.
Man, we could use some help there.
Yeah, and we've had guys
I know I'm missing somebody.
I know, I think we are too. We have guys that we've brought in the last few years. Practice squad guys. I can't think of any of them right now. We had some guys.
Those guys.
So, we could use a little help there, but if you draft them, let's do that.
Oh, we got Benning Patoe.
Okay.
Kobe Smith.
Yeah, okay. Right? These guys.
Yeah, these guys. That's not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could use some drafting on the defensive line.
Yeah.
Huh. That especially if we don't re-sign Sue, we're gonna have to do that. Huh. Any of you guys that know the good defensive linemen in the draft, let me know so I can look at some film on them. I didn't realize we were so thin there.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be what we focus on in the draft. What is our draft position? It's pretty low.
I think
28th?
27th.
27th?
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll trade up.
Trade
down. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't see them trading up. I don't know. We traded up for Tristan Wirfs, but we really needed somebody there. We don't have anywhere that's a huge...
God, what a great draft pick Hillman Winfield were. Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
It's rare you hit him out of the park like that. You got 2 all-pros, man.
Yeah.
Winfield does not get enough credit.
I know. He's so fun.
Yeah.
Just for the meme. This meme.
Yeah.
I'm the peace sign and Tyreek Hill.
Is that what brought the taunting
yes.
into the league?
Yes.
The whole rule thing?
Because they hurt little Tyreek Hill's feelings.
Speaking of Tyreek Hill, he went to the Dolphins. $75 million contract for 3 years.
What the hell is going on at the Chiefs, though?
I know.
Where they're losing everybody.
Yeah. I ain't mad.
Something weird. Like, I think maybe they're trying to salvage everything and just jettison everybody. But unfortunately, it's like their best player, Tyreek Hill. Like, what are you doing? There is no way on the planet I would get rid of Tyreek Hill.
I know.
Like, he's just different. There's no player in the league that is like him.
Right.
And
Yeah, he's so fast and shifty.
yes, he's a game changer. I mean, just what he did to us, like 200 yards in the first quarter.
Yeah, first half, yeah.
What in the world? So, just silly. Just silly.
Yeah, but the Miami paid him $25 million a year. I mean, that's quarterback money.
I mean, our guys are making 20.
Yeah, true enough.
Chris Godwin, I mean, he paid just a little bit extra for Tyreek Hill. I would.
Yeah, would too. We couldn't, though. We couldn't afford that for sure. Miami, though, what's going to happen over there?
Yeah, they got Taron Armstead, too, the tackle from the Saints. So.
Yeah. They might be gunning for some good games this year.
Didn't they just get a quarterback, too? Like,
I think they're going
behind Tua. Not Brissett. I don't think it was a good quarterback. Let's just not talk about that.
I think the two teams that I think are going to do make a run for it in the AFC next year. One, I think is going to surprise everybody, but the Jets. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but I think they are really going to surprise people next year. Like I said, watching them in our game, man, they play good football, just solid. They just did not make mistakes and almost beat us too. And but the Colts.
Yeah.
I think the Colts are really going to be good this year.
I'm interested to see how Matt Ryan bounces back and,
Well, they got a great offensive line, great running game, probably second best running game in the league, maybe the best. And those guys block. They're a blocking and tackling team. And, Matt Ryan's going to not have a whole lot to worry about back there. It's the first time in his career, pretty much.
Right. But, I mean, the last couple of years, what's that done to his mental state?
Yeah, last year especially, he got wrapped up in that Mahomes effect, and he was trying to do stuff Matt Ryan is not built to do. So, yeah, it might have screwed him up. He's got PTSD.
I know. Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater. That's who's behind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so a potential starter to compete with Tua until one of them gets hurt, and then the other one will start. And then they'll get hurt.
Man, god damn.
Who's their third string?
They get right now it's Chris Streveler.
Oh, okay, Streveler. Whoa.
This is their wide receivers. They got Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, and Tyreek Hill. Good Lord.
Yeah, that Waddle was good last year. He was a rookie.
Hey, Philip Lindsay's on their.
That's where he went. We were just talking about him.
He went to Houston, and then
Gosh, he's just bounced around.
Yeah, I really thought he was going to do something in Denver, but then next thing you know, he was gone, and he just bounced around. But they got Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds at running back. Huh. Yeah, they might be contenders.
Yeah. Well, they were okay last year.
Yeah.
Right there, it seemed like.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year, man. A lot of big changes. Hey, you said that every time something happened, you're like, this is the most weirdest off season I've ever seen.
Yeah. But, I wonder also, is it the COVID effect? Because the draft is kind of unreliable, has been the last couple of years. And so does that make the trade market go crazy?
That's a good point.
Go for who's reliable.
Huh. Yeah, because a lot of these guys coming out of college haven't played a lot the past couple of years. And
if they have, they've had stupid rules. And, what does that do to your mental state too? Like knowing, we're going to play, but you might get a deadly plague. Like, what does that do to your mental state when you're on the field? Do you play as hard? All kinds of stuff.
Yes. Very interesting. How long until we got to the draft? When is that?
The 28th
of
April.
All right.
Right around the corner.
Every year we do this, we say, you know what, we need to do a live draft stream. But then last year Molly was like, good Lord, this thing is, what is it, like 4 hours?
Long. Well, I watched another live stream with some
That's
other
right. Yeah, we
podcasters,
did.
and I was like, wow, like that is a lot, and I could not have done that.
We would be so drunk by the end of it.
And like Molly goes to bed at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like I can't hang, so
this is true.
I would be very boring after a little while.
All right, well, that's it for the news. This week so far has been kind of quiet on the free agency front. Not a whole lot of signings going on. Hopefully, we'll find out about JPP, Sue, and Gronk. Those are the three big ones we're looking at left. I can't see Gronk not playing, but it's possible he could, stay retired or whatever, just not come back. He could go to the Bills or whatever. Who knows?
And then at that point, we got to draft another tight end.
Yeah, we're gonna be short tight ends.
Yeah. So maybe we focus on that in the draft.
Yeah, there you go. Could be. Are there any tight ends in the draft?
I don't know.
Who knows? But we're down to Brait and
Cody
else?
McElroy,
Yeah,
I think is the other
much.
one.
So, we got a lot of stuff to worry about coming up, and then the draft in a month. So there's going to be some interesting things going on, and we'll keep you updated on everything. Just keep listening to us. You'll know the ins and outs.
We got you.
The ups and downs. Anything else, Molly?
That'll do it.
No, that's it. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up for us, man. We're so excited. It's going to be a great year, another Super Bowl run. Ooh, feels good to say that. All right, till next time.
Go Bucs.